Hey everyone, have I here bring a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be doing our global full breakdown with some fun little team builds for the Dokkan Festival exclusive physical Turles. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So yes, the worldwide celebration is now over, and now we are focusing on making sure we are catching up with the JP version of the game. So starting with Turles here is the first Dokkan Festival exclusive, and first and foremost, let's take a look at the card art. I do love the TUR card art. I don't like the SSR card art. It's a weird position. You know, basically kind of like a camera shot above. You have Gohan in the back there. But ultimately, I just love the look of the TUR. I think they could have made the TUR more like the SSR and then have an action pose for the TUR instead. But anyway, it's fine. It works out and looks good for the TUR Awakening, but you're not going to see much of the SSR in the first place. Now, let's take a look at the stats of this unit here. It does have 21,000 in HP, 13,000 in attack, which is quite low, but 13,500 in defense. So let's look at what this unit can do. First and foremost, let's look at the leader skill. So the leader skill is a double-double. It is Space Traveling Warriors Pure Saiyans with 170% across the board, with a 30% for the 200% boost for Planetary Destruction and for Low-Class Warrior. The super attack here, it does raise his attack, so it stacks attack over and over. That's the reason why the stat starts low, because the more super attacks you do, you're going to have an SA multiplier increase here on the 12 key, or actually that's all it has is the 12 key, the super attack, and then causes immense damage to the enemy and then recovers 6% HP. Now, the passive skill here is not good. So especially let me take that back. The passive skill, the other portion of the passive skill is fairly okay. The passive skill when it comes to the entrance animation is not good. All right. So if there's a Goku's family category enemy, or whose enemy is named Gohan Kid at the start of the attacking turn, activates instant animation once only. Extreme class allies keep +3 attack 18%. This alone isn't all that great either, so it's not missed, but still, come on, look at this awful entrance animation. Because the enemy you're rarely going to be fighting unless you're doing like the legendary Goku event, right? Goku's family. And then it made it kind of repetitive, or an enemy whose name is Kid Gohan at the start of the character's attacking turn. Well, Gohan, Goku's family, same thing. Anyway, I digress. Let's look at the rest of the passive skill, which again, it's much more useful than this one right here. Attack and defense 160%, attack plus an additional attack 60%, and launches an additional attack that has a high chance to become super attack when HP is 50% or more, which is fine. That's doable. And then plus an additional 100% attack when performing a super attack. And then key +2 up to 8, and it reduces damage by 5% up to 20%, and defense 40% up to 160 with each super attack performed. So this is very important that you do as many super attacks as possible. It's going to raise your SA multiplier, it's going to raise defense, it's going to provide you damage mitigation, but as you can see, it just takes a while to stack up because you only have launches additional attack with high chance one time here and no guaranteed super attack. Unless, right, it factors against all types and launches additional attack that has a high chance of becoming super attack from the start of the turn, which the character pervades the 6 battle, so 6 attack in the battle. So once you get 6 attacks, then you can actually stack up a lot faster. But again, that's 6 attacks. You might not get that until the 4th turn or 5th turn. It's going to be a while, right? So keep that in mind, as the limitations don't really make this unit as desirable as you would want it. So do I say it's a skip unit? Yes. So, but if you really are a Turles fan, you want this unit, feel free to, but it's not anything special, right? So the active skill here greatly raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage to enemy, and then you have an activation condition here, can be activated from the start of a turn to the 3rd turn when there's a Goku family or Goku's family category enemy, or whose name includes Kid Gohan, or can be activated from the the start of the 6th turn. I don't know. Goku's family, Kid Gohan. It's it's the same thing in a sense, but all right. Again, not a good activation condition, not a good entrance animation. Let's look at the link skills. Saiyan Warrior, Race, Big Bad Bosses, Thirst for Conquest, Brutal Beatdown, Prepare for Battle, Destroyer of the Universe, and Fierce Battle. It's going to work really good with another Turles, which we'll talk about that in a second. But really the biggest thing here is light on the categories, right? We have, what is this, 4, 7? So like the bare minimum, like right below the bare minimum when it comes to 8. So Low Class Warrior, Movie Bosses, Pure Saiyans, Terrifying Conquerors, Final Trump Card, Space Traveling Warriors, and Planetary Destruction. So that's the unit in of itself. Again, not very impressive. And more so, the team isn't all that impressive either. And we'll dive into the teams in just 1 second here. So when you look at the best link partner here, it is going to be the AGL EZA Grade 8 Turles. And you're going to have 7 links up, which is very strong. Makes this unit, more runnable, stronger, especially when you start beefing up the defense here. It can get, around like 800,000, somewhere around there with support. And then you have 20% damage mitigation, which is fine. But then all in all, for the current meta, not as strong as you wanted. But again, this unit came out months ago on the JP version of the game. So now let's look at kind of the team builds here. Starting off with really the question is, Almond is going to be running, Almond Raisin is absolutely going to be running in the first position with a Turles, right? That's locked down. The question is, who are you going to run as a first position unit, because Turles isn't a first position unit, that can hold up against kind of end game. Now, if you're not doing end game, you're going to be, just fine. But if you're looking at end game, you don't really have too many options here for that first position. So, could you run AGL Grade 8 Turles? Not really, because I think at max it can get up to like 400k defense. So that's going to be pretty tough here. I would say you're better off running like a Chilai at 170%. Broly, Cooler, and even Bojack there. It's going to be tough to run in that position, especially if you're looking for another extreme class unit. I guess you can run Cooler, but Cooler isn't defensive, is more offensive. So that becomes an issue. That becomes a problem on hard events like the Dismal Future. This would get crushed. These teams would get crushed on Dismal Future with AoE and all that jazz, right? So when you look at opportunities to run a first position, you're going to have to look at outside of extreme. You're going to have to look in the super realm here, because you'll have the Gokus and then just the most recent of the Worldwide Celebration in LR Vegito Blue, right? So these would be your best options here. The 4 options that you see here is going to be running on 170% versus 200, but the World Tournament Goku is going to be running at 200% there. So it gives you that, first turn reprieve of guarding, and then you can start building up. And of course, if he can actually transform or whatever standby, he becomes an absolute beast afterwards, right? So that is the option. I think that is probably the better option if you are going to be running that spot there. So your team's going to look something like this, that being a 200% there. So World Tournament Goku in the first spot, and then run everything else across from that. So I was hoping that this unit EZA'd. I have the EZA still on here, hoping maybe Global might do something special, but I can just easily take that off. And so instead of this unit here, you would want Chile if you don't care for a full 200% lead team, but I just put it there just because we're looking at a 200% team here, right? So if you're looking at just extreme, then you're looking at something like this with the big question mark of who are we going to put in that spot. You have some options here, but still it's not a good option if you're going to run a full extreme 200%, especially if you are going to run a 170%. I would run the Big Bad Bosses float, where Turles is going to get the Big Bad Bosses a boost there with the Great Ape Turles, with the Cooler and the Bojack there. So that's going to be beneficial as floaters. And then you have Almond and Raisin as the first position, and then you have the Chilai as the first position there. So this team can run fairly well, but still will be would be tough. Would be tough in the most difficult events. The other thing you can do is remove Turles down from a main position and run a Goku in that spot there. You can go World Tournament Goku and Path of Power Goku. You can run Vegeta Blue in this spot here. You can run God Goku here. So you have options that you can run if you're going to run a Goku rotation. So that's why I call it a Goro, the Goro team here, because you do have one rotation with Goku on there. So I think this can work out fairly good, but ultimately I think the most difficult thing you're looking at is finding where the extreme class team that you're going to be running and filling up that spot for first position tank. But luckily, Red Zone doesn't really have have to run all extreme class units. I think maybe some you do, right? I think some you might, but that's when you use items to kind of get units to get stronger. Like then you can run a physical Turles in the first position once he gets all his defensive up and then his 20% damage mitigation as well. But anyway, so that's pretty much all the teams that you can kind of build upon. Again, not a very good team overall. And this unit here is a for sure skip unless you are a major Turles fan. Not much of value. Not going to be a top team on global. Not even going to be a unit that you run possibly on other teams as well. Like a low class warrior, movie bosses, pure saiyans, terrifying conquerors, final trump cards, space traveling warriors, or planetary destruction, maybe. But ultimately, unless we're going to have an event that we're fighting Goku's family or a Kid Gohan, that's endgame, the value just really isn't there. So that's my analysis on the physical Turles here. Tell me what you guys think on the global side of the game. Are you going to be summoning? Are you not going to be summoning? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning. We'll catch you next time. Later.